Hey, hey, welcome back, everybody, to Reality Radio podcast with Whitney and Andrew. Stefan couldn't make it today, but that's all right. He's going to be back with us when we start talking about the challenge Bloodlines, which premieres this week. So we're back here. We're talking about, a couple weeks ago, we gave our top 30 female competitors to ever be on MTV Challenge.
A lot of controversy on Twitter.
About it. I tried to defend our list as best as I could, even though something.
Quick tweet you guys saying, why is she 29? She's only done one challenge, so I mean, it's like the reason why I put Cara Maria so high is because she's great in elimination rounds, and she's made it to the finals in so many of them. That's all I got for the girls.
Oh yeah. I mean, she was behind. To me, she was behind Svetlana and Brittany, who also only did one challenge and made it to the final in their one challenge and lost the final in their one challenge. So why does she deserve to be above them? And they won challenges and they won elimination rounds. Well, Brittany didn't see an elimination round, but she won challenges.
Brittany's not elimination.
More than what Cook, I think, has done on her for one challenge. So, it's like, you can't say.
She should have been more insulted that she was tied with Devin.
What?
I think she should have been more insulted that she was tied with Devin.
Yeah, that's what she should have been insulted. I was insulted for her on that one. It's like, why is Devin even on the list? But we're not going to talk about that because Stefan's not here to defend Devin. So we're going to ignore that. But all right, let's get started to the guys. I think this was easier than the girls for some reason. I think it's because there's a lot of guys that contribute. I think that a lot of the same guys contribute to the show, and in the same way. Whereas with the girls, it's like if we're ranking it based on strategy, which is I think is a whole other list. You can rank on like the Suzies, the Veronicas, the Corals are 1, 2, and 3 in my opinion. But then you have girls like the Emilys, the Evelyns, the Laurels, who probably aren't that great with strategy, but they're probably 1, 2, and 3 in athletic capabilities. So it's like where do you weigh which is greater, And whereas the guys, there's a lot of guys who bring like there's like the Miz, the CET, the Bananas. They bring a lot the strategy, but also the physical capability. So it's much easier, I think, to rank them.
When I came up
with it's not so spread out.
When I came up with my list, most of the guys that I picked on my list have won at least one challenge. I can't say that for the girls.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of girls who have only one. There's some girls who are really great, but they only won one challenge, whereas there's a lot of guys who've won multiple. So a
couple girls like say Cara Maria and Anita, they've been on so many of these, but they've yet to win one.
Right.
Most of the guys have won at least one. I think there's a good handful of guys that will be on our list that have won at least 3.
Yeah. Right. Well, let's just go down our list. Well, I mean, number 30 is not one of those guys. He definitely made it onto the list just by being awesome. But he was the first cast member eliminated from his first challenge and the second cast member eliminated in the second challenge.
Nick Brown. Nick Brown.
Is that true?
Yeah, I think it is.
No, I'm talking about Ace though.
So, I know. I was just messing with you.
I was about to say, I was like, wait.
You're like, let me check my list again.
Is that true? No, Nick Brown sucks though. But he's cool. But anyway, Ace is like, he's someone that I think the show needs. We don't need all these we don't need a bunch of meathead jocks who train CrossFit 24/7 and so amped up and winning and losing. I mean, we need those, but at the same time, we need someone like Ace to counterbalance that. That macho.
He was hilarious on his challenges. I mean,
he was great. He was hilarious.
He was the life of the party on most of them.
Yeah.
Sure. I had some great challenge-winning moments on the Gauntlet 2 and Inferno 3, which were his best 2 challenges. The ones where he went first and second. He didn't have much of. He didn't do so well, but I didn't put him on my list personally because I didn't feel like he deserved to be on the list. But that's not a bad choice.
Okay. Yeah. I definitely he was a last minute addition on my list. Mainly because when he put him on his list, Stefan put him on his list as number 30, like the last one for his.
That was the only one that didn't rank him.
Yep, and I ranked him at 25.
Okay.
So, he barely made it.
I think my favorite moment before I move on was Gauntlet 2, the whole pyramid challenge when he was carrying like a whole bunch of his teammates on his back.
Oh, see, my favorite challenge was on Gauntlet 2 when he screwed up and was driving. He was driving the truck or the whatever, and then he forgot to have the shift. He forgot to do something. Like, it was a stick shift, and he forgot to, like, do something, and then his team lost. That was hilarious.
Wow.
That was probably my favorite moment from him when he screws up. Number 29, CJ. Who I think had he done more challenges, he definitely could have been like top 15. I think he's a beast, and I think everyone just will go back to that elimination round with Zach and Ballad Seasons. That was probably like on Freshman 2, he didn't really shine.
Won elimination round by default because of my boy Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fresh meet. It was his first challenge, and he was paired with someone who wasn't all that great. So, but when he came back for the seasons, it was definitely a welcoming, I think, surprise.
And he by far was one of my favorite, one of definitely up there as far as like my favorite people to interview. Dude was hilarious. I know you spoke with him too during Battle Seasons, and he was a joy to have on. Like, he enjoyed it. He was very like thankful that we reached out to him, and I mean that's what it's all about. And he, as far as the challenge scene goes, love Jasmine and John A, but I wish he was the one that they called over and over and over. Maybe they have. Maybe he wasn't available.
I think they did call him. But he's doing some good stuff, like some modeling and stuff like that. Like, I think I read somewhere that there was an issue between like him, like his agent or something like that, wanting him to continue with MTV while trying to get his career up, which I can see. Which one's going to be a better long-term decision here. But yeah,
I hope he's. If we get a dual 3, I hope he's on there.
Yeah, he'll definitely be called, I think. Yeah. Well, probably not because, Ari the one is getting first dibs on challenges now, I guess. So maybe he won't be called.
We don't have to talk about 20 years.
Anyway, all right, number 28, an old school goodie, Colin. Did you rank Colin?
Yes, I did.
Good choice.
I mean, straight up, like, he had an injury. I don't remember how he got hurt, but I think he injured like his ankle or something in the challenge, and they let him stay in, and he still dominated.
Right.
Was always in inner circle, time in and time out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was. And I think he also provided like a lightheartedness about the challenge. He wasn't, but there's a lot of people back then who weren't so like amped up on, strategy and like competitions and whatnot. But he was still a competitor. He was still a really good competitor, but he was someone also fun to watch, I think. And
going back to his rural real quick, I didn't watch Rural Hawaii, but I saw this. I think it was a bonus special before like Rural Brooklyn or something. I don't know if you ever saw it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Where Colin was telling his buddy, "I made the show," and he was like, "No, you didn't." "Yes, I did."
Yeah, because I remember that. I forgot how he. Like, I think he made it because someone dropped out, or I forgot how he made it. But it was. I'm glad he did. I forgot. I totally forgot all about that.
When I spoke with Ruthie for the first time, he and Ruthie were supposed to be on the first battle of the seasons too. They would have been crazy good. I think they
would have been real good.
I think they would have made the finals.
They would have been real good.
Let me turn on my light. Let me turn on a light in here real quick.
All right, let's go to number 27. From
did everybody rank Colin real quick though?
No, just me and you. But which I can, that's fine. Like, he's an old. His last challenge was what, like, the sets is 2 or something like that. Not even 2. No, he wasn't on 2.
Yeah, he was on the first one.
Yeah, he was on the first one.
Ruthie told me that he lives in Jordan now, in the country Jordan, which is really cool.
That's cool. All right, let's go to number 27, Tyler from rural Key West.
I ranked him higher. I think.
What'd you say?
I think I ranked him like 18 or 19.
Nope. You ranked Tyler at 22.
22? I ranked him higher than 27. I knew that.
Did I rank? I didn't rank him at all, and I believe Stefan ranked him at 19.
Like, his first 2 challenges were very bad, but he's won 2. I mean, he's 27 and he's 27th and he's won 2 challenges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he came back on Rivals 2 and it was Rivals 1 when not Rivals 2. Rivals 1 when I was like really impressed with him, but he came back on Cutthroat. That was his like returning season after the duel and after Gauntlet 3. He came back on Cutthroat and I think surprised a lot of people with how, like, I don't know, like how invested he was, because on the other seasons he didn't seem like, he just seemed like he was all about very catty and whatnot. But on Cutthroat he came back and was like serious and was like ready to do this thing.
Yeah, I couldn't stand him in his early seasons, like his rural season and the duel and Gauntlet 3. He was prima. He was a diva.
I enjoyed him in the villainous type of way, in the way that, like, I was rooting for Svetlana, so you root against Tyler and Janelle on his real world season, which I think was one of my favorite seasons I have on iTunes. But he didn't last long enough for in the Gauntlet 3 and Duel for me to be like bothered by him. So I think that I wasn't really that annoyed. And then when he came back on on Cutthroat, I was just kind of he was like one of the only people that I actually liked on that team. So
really, you don't like Brad and Tori?
No. And I say he was one of the only ones, so he wasn't the only one. Like Camilla, I liked on the team. That may be about it. So,
he definitely deserves to be on there. I think a little bit higher than that, but we can go on.
So? I don't know. Looking at who's above him, I mean, maybe, but looking at who's above him, I think that he's all right.
I mean, he's definitely bottom 15, but a little bit higher than 27.
Oh, yeah, well, maybe he could be higher than this next guy we have. Number 26 is Zach from San Diego. San Diego 2. And I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, did I rank him at all? I don't know if did I rank him at all? I think I did. I did rank him. Stefan didn't rank him. Me and you ranked him, I think. Okay, yeah.
In recent memory, he's probably one of the, with the exception of like Bananas and Jordan, he's probably one of the best ones like in recent challenges. As far as the guys go, Bananas, Jordan, Leroy, I think I'd rank him 4th like in recency. But
I don't know. I think I would put him behind a lot. Like, I put him behind Riley. I put him behind Frank Sweeney. I put him behind Wes. I put him behind Bananas. I put him behind not Leroy. I think he's better than Leroy. I put him behind freaking Kohutta. like, like, do you remember his last challenge?
Who?
Zach.
Oh, I couldn't stand him in the last challenge. I'm actually rewatching X2 because I get an Xfinity on demand. I have to finish it before Wednesday. And I just got to the part where he called the women swamp donkeys.
It was like, I don't know. He's just like, he doesn't bring anything entertaining to me, and he also doesn't bring anything all that. I mean, I guess he's good, but he's not someone who's like, I don't know. Like, he could only win on like a battle of the seasons. Like, I don't see him winning in any other capacity unless he's on like a big team.
Big team,
and people are scared to go against him because they may, get unlucky like Brandon did on Free Agents and have to go against him in something physical.
Yeah.
So I don't know. All right, so let's go to the next sub 25. I think that he's another recent competitor and a pleasant surprise. Johnny Riley, 25.
I put him in there because he won a couple elimination rounds last season. Did he beat the best competitors? No, but I mean he did very well with Avery, despite the fact that he couldn't stand Avery, and almost won Free Agents over Bananas. So well deserving to be on this list.
Yeah, I think so too. Do you think that had the
Riley at 27, Tyler at 25, and leave Zach at 26?
What'd you say?
I think I'd switch Tyler and Riley here, personally.
I guess you could. Tyler won challenges. He won too.
Yeah, right. Riley won one of the reason why I put him on here automatically is because he won one of the individual challenges on Free Agents, and that was probably the hardest one of the individual ones. The two, I think they only did like two of them, but he did the whole rolling in the plastic wrap or something.
Yeah,
and he dominated that. So
yeah, that was yeah. And I wish I was an individual challenge. I wish I was like straight at individual challenge, at least a final where you're just racing from beginning to the end, like like the first duel. I was gonna say duel, but like the first duel where you don't pair up, you just from beginning to the end. I wonder who would have won. I think Riley could have won that.
Yeah, that Free Agents final, I gotta give it to Bananas because I mean he did win. He did win his fifth challenge. But it was so, in the words of Russell Hantz, flawed because of the whole time situation.
Yeah, I hated that. It was like just like anticlimactic in a way. So
remember,
it just didn't feel like a final. It felt weird.
He beat Bananas up that hill, the very last one of them.
Yeah.
And not to mention Johnny is a great person to talk to when it comes to interviewing on these shows. He'll tell like it is, which I like.
Yeah. All right, so let's get to number 24, Jamie Murray, another old school guy.
What?
Who
original Real World New Orleans?
Yes. Who people probably won't remember, but I do, and you do too. And Stefan does too. So
he looked just like when he was on Battle of Sexes. One, he looked just like my cousin. I swear to God.
I think that how he comes to mind. He's like when you think about ranking, I was thinking about let me do it this way. Who has won a challenge? That's the first thing I think about. Who's won a challenge? Then who's won the most challenges? And let me rank who's won the most challenges and see where people fall. And then I say, okay, how many challenges have you been on? What's your record and challenges? Like, if you won 2 out of 10, are you better than the person who won 1 out of 2?
Unless you're CT, I think CT is the exception to that rule.
So I think that then you start going by like, okay, like what you bring to the table in terms of challenges and strategy and alliances and entertainment. Like what's your deal? And Jamie falls he falls a little short in like that aspect, but I think that in straight challenges and competitions, he was one of the better guys and back then. But there were a lot of great guys back then. But
There was a lot of great guys back then.
yeah, so he was one of the better ones.
And I know we'll definitely be talking about the third member of the men's final three in Battle of the Sexes a little bit later. So I mean, that's the main reason why I put him on this list, because that men's team in the first challenge I ever watched, Battle of the Sexes, was
Colin,
so good.
Mark, and Jamie.
Yeah. And not to mention they had people like Eric Neese, they had people like James, they had people like Shane.
Puck.
Yeah, Puck. They had people like Theo from Chicago.
Yep. Theo Grant,
Blair.
I think is that.
You remember Blair?
Blair Herder, of course.
Did that shows for like mini seasons after that.
They need to bring him back. He was so good. I need to go back and rewatch that. I hope they still have those MTV, like the after shows from like the Fresh Meat and the Duel. Those are good. Those are funny. Mm-hmm. They need to bring that stuff back. Get people really back.
The reason why Jamie, real quick, the reason why Jamie is not so high on this list is because he hasn't been on forever. Was recency bias, like who's been on challenge recently, did that play an effect for you for some of these people?
No.
It did for me in a way. I mean, there's a couple people that we'll talk about later. Obviously it didn't, but he hasn't been on in like what, 10 years? Yeah. So that's why he's so low on this countdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that because I mean you can't that type of stuff, like you can't really help if someone goes out of the challenge. I rank them based on what they did in their time span. So if I'm more impressed with Jamie and his, like maybe he only did 3 challenges back in like the 90s or early 2000s or whatever. If I'm more impressed with what he did in his time span than I am with what Zach from San Diego has done in his time span, even though his is more recent, I'm gonna rank Jamie a little higher. So that's how I did it. Because it's like the challenges were like, it was like a different show back then, so you kind of have to put it in its own thing and then just kind of see where they fall. Because if you compare them together and try to say, okay, well, this guy hasn't been on lately, and these guys have. Well, this guy, he's like probably like 40 with a wife and 5 kids, versus this guy who just got out of college and he's amped up. So it's hard to combine them. That's why people had a problem with our female list, because I was like, you have to look at what people do in their time on the show. I feel like to try and like.
I feel like me and you, I like Stefan, who put Devin on the women's countdown, are actually on the same page when it comes to ranking these challengers. I mean, they have to. I mean, they don't have to win a challenge to be in the top 30, but majority of them have to. Yeah. And other things that I put on was finals. How well did they do in elimination rounds? That's why I didn't put Ace on my list, because I don't think Ace won an elimination round.
I don't think he
made it to one final on Inferno 3, but he didn't win any elimination.
I think I was biased towards Ace, honestly. Like, I got so excited when you was talking about, like, you said that you were going to do a show with Ace and Jasmine. I was like, oh my God, I want to do that, but I can't. And I thought you was talking about Ace Emerson, and you were talking about Ace Nichols, the blogger. I was like, oh, I mean, she's cool too. I would love to do one with her. But I was like so amped, and you got me thinking about Ace. And when I started doing this, I was like, oh, okay, I got to get Ace on my list. Then I started thinking how awesome he was. So, I mean, I got him above like people who I feel like he could be above. And like Knight, honorable mention definitely for what he's brought to the show. I put Ty on here, Kahada, Riley, Leroy. Those are all the people that are below Ace. And then I got Ace right there.
Yeah.
I mean, you could definitely argue Riley and Leroy.
I'm guessing Ty is the next one.
But whatever.
Is Ty our next one?
Who?
Ty from DC.
Ty's on the list.
He's not on the list?
We all ranked him, though. We all put him on there, though.
Really?
Yep. But it's like we all put him very, very low.
Yeah. And it's thanks to Emily. That's why I put him on the list.
She works wonders. You know, she's magical. Okay, let's move on from Ace.
23.
Not Ace. From where we were talking about Jamie. Let's move on from Jamie. And number 23, Frank Sweeney. You ranked Frank pretty high. And where did I rank him? I ranked him. We both ranked him kind of in the middle. You have him at exactly 15. I have him at 17.
I mean, he's definitely somebody that in recent memory was great at these. I mean, he never lost elimination round. I mean, he wasn't in many, but the only time he ever went home before a final was because he got sick.
Yeah.
And that was out of his control. I mean, he was great on from a competitive standpoint, not from a TV standpoint in some ways. He was great on Battle of the Seasons. He was partnered up with Bananas, and if you're partnered up with Bananas more times than not, you're gonna go to the final.
Unless you're Nani. And then
or not.
And drag him down.
But yeah, he was definitely, after Real World San Diego, somebody I definitely wanted to see a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, him, Zach. I wish we'd see Ashley again. I don't think we ever will, though.
Nate, of course. Duh. He was like my ace of the recent challenges, but he didn't do one. He just only did one, actually. Frank definitely got my respect. Not that he cares for it or anything. So what he did after Rivals 2. Battle of the Season, I think that a lot of people, because of how he was on San Diego, I don't think a lot of people were expecting him to do well. And then the one challenge he does do well on, people are like, oh, well, there aren't any, there's just a bunch of rookies and a bunch of people who haven't even done the show. And then obviously he has Zach on his team. You know, he's going to do well.
Sure.
And then, and I was like one of those people who were really hating on that challenge. No lie. I was hating it. Especially having Wes go out first episode. He's like my top number one guy. So having him go out on that challenge. And then everything following Alton, who's like one of my favorite guys as well. It's like I was really hating that challenge and hating him and hating that team. So I didn't give him a lot of respect. But then seeing him on Rivals 2, seeing how he competed and seeing how serious he was and seeing how he kind of he didn't really change, but it kind of felt like, I don't know, we got a little different side of him and seeing him. What are you saying?
I don't know about you, but Battle Seasons will always be a season that I won't mind watching over and over again because it was the first one we covered. First full season that we covered. I mean, I talked to so many people. I don't know how many you talked to, but I talked to quite a few people I talked to multiple people from multiple seasons, with the exception of, I think Fresh Meat was one, and I think I didn't talk to anyone from New Orleans. But other than that, I talked to multiple people from each season, which was amazing. And I always will go back to watch Battle Seasons, and the fact that he won was the reason why I had to put him on this list.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's been on 3. He's been on, how many times has he been on?
3.
3 challenges. One won, made it to a final in another. And
I think he's been on 2 quarter challenges.
What?
I'd say he's been on 2 1/4 challenges because his third one got cut way short. How do you think he would have done on free agents had he not been sick?
It's hard to say. I mean, he could have been Brandon and drew that random card against Zach and had to go against Zach in the elimination. That could have been Frank. You know, you never know in that challenge because it was so random. Usually you never know in challenges, but that specific one because it was literally a random draw.
Like final 7.
He could have gone out anytime. Honestly, you couldn't really say.
Honestly, if I were to rank the people of free agents, I probably would have ranked them maybe 8, top 7.
If you're ranking what?
If I was ranking like the guys on free agents, I would have ranked them pretty high compared to some of the guys. Like he'd definitely be ahead of Preston. He'd definitely be ahead of Swifty.
I'd put him in top 5.
Top 5? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, what? Like you have Bananas, CT, and then I would say Frank probably right there. Who else?
I would put him ahead of Jordan. Don't you think?
What?
Would you put him ahead of Jordan?
I put him ahead of Jordan. I put him ahead of Zach. So I mean, he was definitely one of the better competitors in recent memory. So, so let's move on to number 22. We have Cyrus, another old dog. We're loving these oldies, man.
I love that.
Loving these oldies.
I'm so jealous that you guys got to talk to him and I didn't.
He was like our first interview, I think.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys that you just
dude. I still follow him on Twitter to this day. He has his own jewelry line in Beverly Hills, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Dude is the man, and I think he was the innovator of good one-liners.
He really I think he's an underrated competitor because of like he's not like one of those fit guys who you see with walk around shirts off all the time and whatnot, but he never was like someone that weighed the team down. He was always one of like the better competitors, and and I think that he had a great social game. Everyone loved him. He didn't really need politics or anything like that. He was just being himself, and he made it far. And like we have Inferno, one of my favorite seasons to watch. You have Gauntlet 2, which he didn't make it far now, but he had some great moments.
I can't wait till we get Derek for that reason.
So I mean, there's one, so I can't think of everything right now, but he's like one of those guys that you just.
I think if
pops up in my mind.
I think if you ever called him, I think he'd go back to do one more.
I don't know. I'd like to think so, but I think the only way that will happen if they do like a generation challenge, like do like the battle of the generations, have people from
Eric
like
Neves.
The battle of the seasons all the way to the Gauntlet 2 era. Then you have Fresh Meats all the way to
Real World All Stars. That was the very first challenge when
Rivals era or Cutthroat, and then you have from Rivals all the way to current generation. Then I think that would be a good show. That's my take.
What was your favorite Cyrus moment? I'm sure there's a lot of them.
Favorite Cyrus moment has to be on Inferno.
When he cussed out his team for being like, oh, why you put me like that?
Yeah. That was probably it. That was probably it, honestly. So I can't. He's great. Amazing. Now I got to go back and rewatch these shows.
Yeah.
What a great
Cyrus's
Another oldie here. 21. Dan. How you supposed to say his last name? Setzler. That's Setzler.
Northern Trail.
Yes.
Rotor 5. Holy leap.
You made it on this list.
I had to, like.
You ranked him. I ranked him pretty high. I ranked him pretty high. He was, in my opinion, he was one of the best guys on, like, the best competitors.
He made it to the
back
final
in that era. What you say?
He made it to the final on both the shows he did, right? Road Rules, the Battle of Seasons, and Battle of Sexes too.
Yep.
So I mean,
and he was always one of the top. He was always one of the top competitors. Like when you have like something like an inner circle where it's literally like you're being judged based on your what you're doing in the challenge. Like it's being thrown out there and put on a list. Like, okay, this is how many points you get on this challenge because you're first place, you're second place, you're in third place. Like they literally listed it out, and he was always Dan and Tara right there, or in Battle Sets is Dan. Like he was always in the inner circle, which is, I don't like the vote off thing, but I do like the inner circle thing because it shows you right then and there. It lists who's doing what, who's contributing to this team. And I love that.
I think, like, the reason why I put all three guys from Battle of Sexes 1 and Battle of Sexes 2, which I'm sure we'll get to the two original, Rural and Road Ruler, in a little bit, is because the guys' teams on both seasons were so freaking dominant. I mean, we've never seen, I mean, with the exception of the Ruins in later years. In that time, Battle of Sexes, that's the reason why we're never going to see another Battle of Sexes 3.
Which I think is disappointing because now is the time we need it.
As much as the three of us want it, that's why we'll never see it. Because
no, we won't.
The guys won. I'm so curious. I'm gonna look this shit up right now. I think guys won all but like 3 challenges on Battle of Sexes too.
Yep. And on the first
one, they won like 4. They lost like 4.
Yeah. But it was always like if you look at their strategy both seasons and the girls' strategy, it's like the girls are getting rid of people they don't like. Like the girls are thinking more strategic than anything, and they're thinking like, okay, we have this group of girls who are clearly in alliance and are clearly, going to protect themselves and try to vote all of us off. So we need to vote them off. And it's like they're not thinking, okay, who's contributing, who's losing for this team, who's winning for this team. So that's why they kept losing, because they voted off Julie, Rachel, Veronica on the first season. It's like back to back to back, it felt like. And then on the second one,
Battle of Sexes, they won 13 of 16.
Yeah, that's, of course they did.
Which is unreal.
I mean, can you imagine if the final was Rachel, Ruthie,
and
Cole, or I would even throw Sophia in there, like.
We didn't rank Sophia.
We didn't, and I thought about it too. I thought about Ayana and I thought about Sophia, and we didn't rank either of them. And I was like, dang it. Sophia definitely.
I think we ranked Ayana honorable, or maybe I talked about Ayana when we talked about Veronica. I slept in my uniform last night.
So it was, man. Okay, let's move on.
But Dan, and from what I remember, Dan was pretty funny too, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, he was. Like he was great for reunions. Like there's a lot of people who was great for reunions back then. Like they had like the best time. Yeah, nowadays it's like.
He was like, the reason why you girls lost is because you bitch too much.
Yeah. It's nowadays like just, Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Number 20. Eric Nice.
The original
real worlder. The one who started it all. Literally, I think he was the first person to be got introduced to it in this whole show. So
He was one of the very first, and I think my favorite moment of Eric Nies was whenever he had that damn jump rope on Battle.
You ranked them at 24. Steph didn't rank them at all. I ranked them at 18.
That seems about right.
Yeah.
Because do you even count that first challenge of the season?
Which one?
The one where it was just 5 of them that did a
No,
roll.
I didn't count those. I started at Battle Seasons.
So technically, he's only won 1 challenge.
Yeah. Battle sets is 2.
And I'm so, as much as I want him and Mark to make the finals, I'm so glad that they did what they did and made people like Dan, who we just talked about, and Theo make the final, because both of them deserved it as well as Eric. So
I don't know. I don't think Eric deserved it. I don't think he did. I think that Eric should have went home before Brad.
He almost did. Yeah.
He almost did. If Brad was a little quicker on his feet, he would have stayed and Eric would have been home. And then the Final 4 could have, like, any of those 4 would have been perfect for a Final 3.
They wouldn't have thrown their last challenge, and the girls would have only won 2 out of 14. 2 out of 16.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Eric Nies definitely someone worth mentioning. He hasn't won a lot. He hasn't been on a lot, but what he has done, I think, kind of outweighs what a lot of the other guys.
If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have real roles. We wouldn't have a challenge. We wouldn't have the challenge. You spoke with Mark, right? Like last year. Or
yeah, we did. Yep.
Do you remember what he said he was doing now, Eric Nies?
God, I forgot. He's like
a Buddhist monk.
Yeah, it's
like how awesome is that? From what Mark's told me in the times that I spoke with him, he has like a long ass beard that you see like on TV.
This was the model. This was the guy who wanted to like like be a freaking star.
I'm not gay, but if I was, I would probably the real world Back to New York, Eric. You know,
he was great. He was great back then.
Yeah.
So he had to be on the list somewhere, and I think that this
20
is a good spot.
Was he on 20 or
20?
20. I like that spot.
That's a good spot. Can't overrank him because he did kind of was given that win. I think he was kind of given that win to Mark by Mark.
Yeah, definitely.
But, yeah, he's done a lot for the show, and got to give him some props. Number 19, a little surprising actually. It's Kohutta.
Wow.
Kind of surprising. Wow. What you say?
Over Eric? Wow.
Over Eric, Frank, Tyler. No, just people who have probably been on not been on more, but just
I definitely agree. This is definitely
further, I think.
This is definitely a weird spot for him. Quick thing. Did you know that he got arrested a couple months ago?
No, I didn't know that. For what?
For DUI.
No, I didn't know that.
And I just found out about that yesterday because I was looking on one of the random challenge fans' tweets, and his mugshot. He was actually smiling in his mugshot.
Of course he was. He's such a happy guy, even when he's getting arrested. So it's okay.
But I'm sorry. I'm sorry, officer. I didn't realize I was going that fast.
But I'm so stoked to see him on this next challenge on Bloodlines, and I'm glad that he kind of came back and they're giving him another chance. I honestly would have never thought that we'd ever see Kohutta again. I really didn't think so. So seeing him, kind of come back and have this like new life in him, I guess. Not even new life. Like he's the same guy, but just like I don't know. It's just like I feel like I
posted on the challenge Facebook a couple days ago. I feel like and I know you and Stefan will probably do a challenge preview in the next couple days. I feel like with him and his cousin Jill, who is so freaking jacked.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, this girl is so freaking strong. I feel like this is the best chance for him to make a final, and I think he's going to.
Yeah.
Or at least close to it, like one of the last eliminations. But talking about him overall, I mean, he's never been an early boot. He's always made it far on every challenge he's been on. Everybody likes him.
Yeah.
He took out Wes to, I think, won 8 in a row before he lost his first one. 8 or 9 in a row before he lost the first elimination round. So I mean, got to give it to him.
Yeah, he's I mean, he took out. Did he take out Cyrus?
He did. Right afterwards. Took out Wes and Cyrus, back-to-back challenges, and then Darrell beat him.
Yeah. You know what, man? That guy's I'm okay. I'm okay with him being on this list and being
I would have put him like 22, 23.
I'll probably put him a little lower, but I'm fine with it because he is someone who is, I think, he may not be like someone who gets storylines like crazy, but when you think about how he competes and how he just competes, he like just competes and wants to do well.
He'll get storylines on this challenge. He's gonna get a lot of storylines on this challenge because I mean, there's so many preseason storylines that we can talk about. Him and Kellyanne, him and Nani. I mean, it's gonna be awesome.
Well, I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, it's been a while since him and Kellyanne. Aren't they friends or were at least? Yeah. Think so. I think Kellyanne's gonna have herself in a bunch of other drama, and Kohada's gonna be the guy to be like, nah, you need to cool it. You need to cool it, Garrel. Who's next? This goes next one. Number 18 is Jordan Wisely from Real World.
I put him high, didn't I?
Portland.
I think I put him like at 11 or 12.
You put him at 12.
12, yeah. 18's kind of. I mean,
I put him at 19.
19.
But everybody he's behind on my list, everyone he's behind is, I think he deserves 19. They deserve to be ahead of him. So,
I mean, Rivals 2, he was so freaking good. Won 2 elimination rounds. He took out Roy Lee and Ty, which I thought Roy going into that elimination round. I don't know what you thought, that Leroy and Ty were going to beat Jordan and Marlon hands down.
Yeah.
In that physical elimination, but they ended up pulling it off. So got to give it to them on that one. Free agents was kind of a rough challenge for him. I mean, he was very arrogant. He was like, "Oh, I'm going to send you home, bananas," and I thought his poop didn't stink, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then X2 was his and Sarah's challenge to win them. I mean, it would have been crazy had they not won that challenge.
It would have been crazy had they. I think that Wes and Teresa were the team to beat on that one. So I was kind of hoping to see them win, but because things happened the way they happened, Jordan and Sarah definitely the next ones up to go. Even behind Bananas and Nani, I think even in competing with Bananas and Nani, I think they would have still won had they
put Jay and Jenna in that final elimination round, and Jay and Jenna would have lost to Leo or Nia. You think?
I think Jordan and Sarah still would have won.
Yeah, I think so.
So
had Nia not did what she did to Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that, it's weird seeing how far him and Frank are, since they have pretty much the same resume. Been on 3 challenges, been to the final once, got eliminated or got, either eliminated or medevac out of the game on one.
Jordan beat himself on free agents.
Yeah.
I mean, it was no fault but his own. I mean, he pulled the 3 cards, which was a badass move, but it was stupid.
Yep. So, oh well. I don't think we're gonna be seeing him again, which I think that I don't mind that. I kind of like that.
I think we might see him on a duel.
We may, but I kind of like that people are taking a break. Like Zach has declined a couple challenges now. Frank has declined a couple. Jordan has declined this most recent one. So I like that, you know, these people are starting to take a break. And I wish that Leroy and Bananas and Nani would follow in their footsteps and like take a break.
Yeah.
You know.
Nani's been in the last, what, 6?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it's
filming currently.
So, yeah, anyway. So let's get back to number 17 is Leroy. I think it's a little too high for him, but what do you think?
I would switch those two around. Put Jordan at 17, Leroy at 18.
So you think Leroy would be above Eric Nice, Dan, Cyrus, Frank Sweeney, Johnny Riley, Zach, Tyler, and CJ?
He's the one guy I think that hasn't won that's probably the best out of the ones that haven't won a challenge yet.
You think so?
I know you're not.
You think he's better than Johnny Riley? How do you think he's better than Johnny Riley? What has he done on this show that
he was a beast on Rivals? Climbed up that rope in what? How many seconds? 6
he
seconds?
wasn't a beast on Rivals. He wasn't a beast on Rivals. He climbed up the rope, yes, but he wasn't a beast.
And I mean, he won that first challenge with Adam. Him and Mike were never put in an elimination round.
No, neither were Jay and Jenna. And there's a reason why they weren't put in an elimination round. So, I mean, I don't know. It's like he's just kind of there for me. He's always been the guy that's just kind of there. He doesn't really do any. Like, he doesn't shine. Like Johnny Riley had a shining moment.
He didn't shine last season?
What last season?
He took out Bananas twice. He sent Bananas.
I totally forgot. Yeah, he shined. That was a good moment for him. That was like the only time I was like, okay, Leroy's doing something. But like on where is it? I mean, obviously Etches, but you know, he had Naomi. Rivals on
X's what
free agents. I really wasn't impressed.
X's he had a very good moment when he and West were in X play, and he owned West. He made West.
Yeah, but there's so much more to the challenge than just wrestling and being a physical competitor, and that's all he really is. That's all we've seen him do was be a physical competitor. And he hasn't won like Zach has, which I think he should be above Zach. I mean, he should be below Zach because he hasn't won. He should be below Tyler because he hasn't won. He's like he should be below Johnny Riley because he hasn't done anything as impressive as Riley did in the free agents finale. So that's why I think that, you know, there's like, and he should be below Frank Sweeney because, of course, he hasn't won. So that's why it's like, I don't know how people are putting him up there on this pedestal. He's just kind of physical. He's a big guy. He's a big muscle.
What did each of us rank him?
Leroy has him at 7.
You mean Stefan?
Stefan has him at 7.
That's way too damn high.
Yeah. You have him at 18.
That's where he was, right? 18.
I have him at 26. So.
Okay. 17th, right?
He's 17.
So yeah, just like with Cara Maria, due to Leroy being ranked so high by one of us, he was put higher than you think, personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
But moving right along. I know you got Walking Dead in about
16.
40
in
minutes.
about like 40 minutes. Walking Dead.
Yes.
I'm in. Yeah. Shane, 16.
Higher than Leroy?
Higher than that shocks you? He's higher than a lot of people. Where you put Shane? Did you rank Shane?
I told you said I had 29 people, and I was like,
oh yeah, you got him at last one. You ranked him at 30. Did I rank him? Oh, Stefan has Shane at 18. I don't think I ranked him.
That's really high, in my opinion.
18 and 30. Well, that's the average. Average of 2. So
one of my favorite road rollers, personally. I mean, I didn't watch Road Rules Campus Crawl live, but I've watched it back on YouTube, and I think that was probably one of my favorite Road Rule seasons. And we'll definitely be talking about somebody else from his Road Rule season.
He's fun to watch. He's really fun to watch. I like.
He had 2 very good showings on Battle of Sexes 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Fresh meat.
I think on an what's that Inferno? The
worst elimination round besides the one that
the cookie.
I think
Eating the
I think
cookie
we're ranked
and
worst
drinking the milk.
round. The Are You the One elimination
bad.
round was probably the worst. That one was right behind it.
That was but it was like so funny though, because like the commentary behind it was great. So that was a fun challenge, and I think I liked his relationships with people. I like that he came back for Fresh Meat too. That was great.
Yeah.
And he's just always been someone who's been good. Like, he's never been like the best or beaten.
Like when you saw Challenge Cast, you saw, oh, Shane's on this challenge. You're like, okay, I'm excited to see him.
You're excited to see him. You know, he's kind of like he's kind of like a Kohutta in a way. Like he's never like at the top or the best of the best, but he's always really good, and he makes it far, and he has great relationships with people. And at the same time, he's funny and he's fun to watch. And
very fun to watch.
I like that. So I'm not mad at him that he's on this list. But is he a little high? I think he may be a little high. But that's okay. That's okay. Number 15. Could be, it could be argued that he could be in the top 10, but whatever. I'm cool with this ranking. Number 15 is Evan. What do you think about this ranking for Evan?
The fact that he won duel 2 and he's not. I mean, an individual challenge for the most part, and he's not higher than 15. I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, and he's been into elimination, so he wasn't like someone who was kind of set back and got to,
twice. And the second time, he just didn't give a shit.
On his first challenge, him and Coral dominated, until they got hurt and had to leave. But him and Coral dominated. He was clearly the best guy. They were the best team.
When I was making my list, I forgot about him and I added him like in the middle of it, like later on. I was like, oh shit!
You got him at 6.
Yeah, I think he should be that high.
Definitely can be argued. I have him at 14. Could be argued that I have him a little lower. Maybe some bias played in there.
The ones that we have higher, or the ones that we have coming up, are going to be very good.
Everybody's going to be good. Everyone else coming up is going to be good, and they can be argued to be in the top 10, but they're not because there's so few. I mean, there's so many of them. So they all have moments that you can argue, like, oh, how did he not make it higher? And yeah.
My favorite Evan moment, I don't know what challenge it was. I think it was Duel 2. Was when he was running with the sheep?
No, that was Duel 2.
Duel 2. That was freaking hilarious. He was like, ah.
I think him on Fresh Meat when he was like the young and naive, and before he was like the Evan of JEK. That's probably my favorite Evan.
Always had great ones. On Fresh Meat. I mean, I think he said something about it's always the part. Oh, I don't remember what the liner was exactly, but the end of it was like when somebody takes a turd in the punch bowl or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, he was good. He was good to. He's always good entertainment. He's always one of those guys who like to provide entertainment. He did that. But he was one of the best competitors. One of the best competitors. Yeah. So
one of his last moments when he went into the jungle with Nehemiah, after he fell off the thing, he was like, does anybody know the way to the jungle?
Oh my
I
god.
felt so bad for Nehemiah in that moment.
Yeah, that was bad. He was like swimming like the opposite direction.
He threw, and then Nehemiah threw his jacket, and then he told TJ, "Well, we're playing this game with a lot of bitches, and I got the biggest one here." Calling Evan a bitch.
Yeah, he's that was great, man. I gotta go back and rewatch some stuff. That was a good challenge.
Right.
Okay, number 14, Abram. Mini Miz, aka Mini Miz.
We get to see him eventually on this challenge. Don't know. My guess is probably like episode 3 or 4.
I'm happy with this rank for Abram. I think that he's definitely someone who's provided. He was always like kind of like mini like CT and like his angst and his attitude and energy that he provides on the show. At least in his earlier days. Nowadays he seems to calm and chilled out a little more, but in his earlier days he was that guy who would probably throw a punch if you said something the wrong way.
I feel like
actually threw a punch.
I feel like he threw 2 punches.
Yeah, 2.
For those viewers are
2 good ones.
Okay, bitch. I don't know. I feel like we could do a whole podcast of best Abram moments. I mean, this guy's hilarious.
He's great.
So many great moments from the threesome on the Gauntlet. From he had a brief relationship with Coral on Battle of Texas 2, which was great. Goes home early on the island. I think he would have won the island had he not went home early.
He wanted to go home, and even then he was like saying, "Okay, guys, please send me home," because and he was up against Bananas, and he was still getting a lot of votes to stay.
Johnny, you go.
It's like either Abram is really, really loved or Bananas is really, really hated.
I challenge you to hate it.
Oh, he was horrible.
My favorite Abram moment, I think it has to be when he faced Brad in the Inferno 2.
Yeah, Inferno 2 has a ton of favorite moments.
And then after he beat everybody, he's like, "Oh, I want to. Who's next?" And Terrell gets all pissed off and be like, "I want you next. You're my bitch."
That was a good challenge.
Oh, it's terrific.
All right, let's go to number 13.
Did he win?
Brad.
No, he didn't win that challenge.
Brad is number 13.
Rad. I think this is a good ranking for him. I think had he not, even if he didn't win Cutthroat, I would have been fine with him being at 13. Because every season he was in it. Every time he was runner-up on both duels.
I feel like he always got shafted. Not always, but in his earlier challenges, he always was kind of like the guy who would get like the short end of the stick.
He got screwed on 4 out of the mainly 4 of his challenges. I mean, Battle of Texas 2, we already talked about that. The whole picking leaders in 5 seconds. Inferno 2, Wedgie Gate.
Well, Inferno 2, pick a name out of hat gate when Darrell should have been the one chosen. I mean,
that was so hard. I mean, if you were the Miz, who would you choose to put in your place between Landon, Darrell, and Brad?
You go through statistics. You go through the stats. Okay, who's done this? Who's done that? That's when you break it down and it's like, okay, it's not obvious now. We're all top dogs. Now let's get to specifics and call somebody out. That's what you do. You don't draw names out of a hat and screw somebody over like a Brad. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe you do pull a name out of a hat if you're the Miz.
There was a lot of rumors he was supposed to be on this, not this upcoming challenge, but the one after. And then I read a tweet from Tori saying, "Oh, they were just rumors."
Oh yeah.
I don't think we'll ever see him or Tori back, and I'm fine with that. I mean, he
let them live a happy life. He won. They won together. Like they're good. They did all they were meant to do on the show.
Still one person I want to talk to. Like Brad, if you watch this, which if we tweet to you, I hope you do. I want to chat it up with you. I definitely want to. I love chatting with his wife, Tori. Tori was a great guest on my shows. I would definitely love talking with Brad.
Yep.
We have so much to talk about. I mean, from his rural days. I mean, I didn't watch all of rural San Diego, but I know some of the things
horrible. That's horrible. Stop. We need to stop the podcast right now, and then you just need to go watch rural San Diego.
I watched some moments. I was more into the challenge back then.
No, you gotta watch. That was my first season I ever watched. Like, that's what introduced me to the show. Rural San Diego.
My first season was either Philly or Austin. I don't remember which.
And those are two good seasons too. Two of my favorite seasons as well. All right, so let's move along. Number 12, another oldie, but so good in every possible way. Challenges, commentary, one-liners.
Mark Long?
Fun in the house. Like, just overall, like, a great guy. He's smart. Timmy.
Oh, it's Timmy. Mark's further. Oh, he scared me for a second. I was like, Mark's not going to make the top 10. And I was like,
no. How do you not guess Timmy? Well, I said one-liners. He's an old guy. Well, Mark doesn't really have that many one-liners. I mean, he has some, but not as much as Timmy. Come on. He's like the one-liner king on back then.
I almost talked to Timmy on back when I was doing Blog Talk days. Susie's good friends with Timmy, and Susie gave me Timmy's email, and I emailed him. I was like, and I was about to do it, but I got my schedule changed for work that day, so I had to cancel it. I never got him back in touch with him again, unfortunately.
Oh, that's something. I would like to hear from him and see what he's up to. But yeah, Mark. I mean, Timmy is one of those, like, Inferno 3 was his final challenge, and even then, even when he was kind of past his peak, I guess, he was still great to watch, and he was still one of the best competitors, and was still that fun, loving Timmy. So I enjoyed what he brought to the show, even though he wasn't he was a top dog back then, but he's not seen as like he's not like cut and ripped up and one of those guys. But he was someone who has a lot of respect on the show.
My favorite moment of him, hands down, Gauntlet 2, when Anissa was freaking having her little tirade with Cameron, I think it was.
Kara.
You see Timmy in the background mocking the hell out of her.
That was sick. With his shirt, I forgot what shirt he had. He had like this t-shirt of like this woman in a bikini or something like that. One of those t-shirts, and he was just mocking him. It was so funny. Oh my god, that's such a great season. So underrated. But yeah, that was Timmy was one. Timmy, yeah, he won a couple challenges. He was always a top guy.
Okay, let's do one more, and then for the next 10, we can spend more time on it because we got about 25 minutes. Let's go quickly on one more, and then for the next 10, we can spend
Kenny.
A couple minutes on each one.
Is number 11.
Kenny Santucci didn't make the top 10?
Kenny Santucci did not make the top 10.
I think I ranked him 5.
You ranked him at 4. I ranked him at 6. And Stephen ranked him.
Stephen again? Damn.
26. Stephen ranked him at 26. It's all right though. Because
I got a trivia question for you. Who's the only one that said Kenny Santucci home?
Freaking Nehemiah. Nehemiah, that was so great too.
Every other challenge, that's why I ranked him so high. Every other challenge he's been to the finals. And he's won 3 of them. He could have easily won. He could have won another one in Gauntlet.
He should have won Rivals. Him and West should have won Rivals. If they would have went straight and not do that 2-day thing, him and West would have won Rivals.
He could have easily been a 6-time champ. because he should have won Gauntlet 3. If it wasn't Big Easy, he should have won. He should have won Fresh Meat 2.
No, you can't say that. Can't say that because that was based. No, he was going up against Landon.
He had the better female part.
So, but he was going up against Landon. So that's not like he should have won. I'm talking about moments like where like something screwed up, like Big Easy. You know, they finished before the rookies, but Big Easy not being able to complete it, like that's a technicality. Like on him and Wes constantly being in the lead of him and Tyler, but because they split it up into 2 days, and the second day they pretty much had to start over from scratch. They didn't get their lead back. That's something where I'm like, oh, he should have won. But saying that he should have won against Landon and Carly, no, they just weren't the better team because they didn't. They didn't.
They dominated that challenge though with it.
Yeah, but that's not saying like he should have won. He should have, like, if they should have won that one, they had the chance to. Nothing was in the way of them winning that one, but themselves and Landon being a beast.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like nothing stopped them from stopped them from winning other than them just not winning. So that's why I think that Gauntlet 3 definitely, Rivals definitely, because those are two that they were in the lead and they should have won, but production said no, you're not going to win.
What about Fresh Meat?
Suck.
What about Fresh Meat? Do you think they had a good shot against
Darrell and Aviv? Are you kidding me?
Never mind, I take that back.
Kenny on Fresh Meat wasn't a Kenny on Rivals and Fresh Meat 2.
My favorite Kenny moment had to be on his first challenge when he voted himself in, and Tina got so pissed.
That was so hilarious.
I'm gonna go with us. And then Tina was like, "What?"
Kenny right now would vote himself in ever. Like,
oh, you want to know? You want to know a fun fact? Kenny has me blocked on Twitter because some stupid ass replied. I think I commented on a picture of Susie and Kenny. I was like, "Mr. Beautiful!" Exclamation point! Exclamation point! And then he was like, "Mr. Toothbrush." And I was trying to defend Kenny, and Kenny unfortunately blocked me for something I might have not done.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get sensitive like that, but yeah, I probably would block people too, honestly.
Especially with that situation.
Yeah. All right,
before you get in the top 10, could you, in no particular order, can you, like we did with the girls, can you name them? Or can I guess who's in the top 10?
Sure.
I want to guess. Landon. Alton. Just say yes, sure. Landon's in the top 10, yeah.
Yeah.
Alton's in the top 10.
Yeah.
Derek.
Yep.
Mark.
Yep.
Bananas.
Yep.
I'm trying to think who else.
This is some big names, man.
CT.
Yes.
Wes.
Yes.
I'm at 7. Darrell.
Yep.
And then I don't know after that. Who are the only two I didn't name?
Well, the next one is one of the people you did not name. Top 10.
Give me a hint. Give me the season.
He's a comedian.
Oh, I forgot.
Velocity.
I forgot about Theo. I didn't rank him in the top 10, I don't think.
No, you ranked him in 13. Stefan ranked him at 14. I ranked him at 8.
I'm trying to think of one more. I'm gonna look at my list real quick and see which one I forgot about.
So Theo, Mr. Funny Man, I think is probably one of my favorite guys.
I forgot The Miz.
He's probably one of my favorite guys. He is one of my favorite people to watch on the show. He's like super competitive. He's a competitor. He's won. What challenge did he win?
Battle of Sexes.
Gauntlet.
Gauntlet and Battle of Sexes.
Gauntlet and Battle of Sexes too. He's like that nice guy, but he's like competitive. He's always one of the top dogs. of the challenge, but he's always like super hilarious. And so like he's like that like good. He's like a good ace, you know, like he's good, actually good at the challenges. But he has that personality where you just want to be around him and you want to watch him because he's freaking hilarious. And
how do you think he and Tanya would have done on Battle Axis?
Probably pretty good. I would put them at pretty good.
I don't think they would have been in the. I think they would have made the final, and they probably would have been like third place or something.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that because Theo's a charming. He's a charming little dude. He's a charming little dude.
Do you watch his stuff on Comedy Central?
I think I watched like one thing. He's pretty good though. He's pretty good, but he's always been like funny to me. Like he's always been like that guy. You know he's telling a joke, but even if you know he's telling a joke, it's still funny. Like it's still like you never get tired of it. Cause it's
that would be the perfect person to host the after show.
Yeah, he'd be perfect. He'd be perfect. He's still kind of like, I don't know, he's still a fan of the show, but he still like has respect for the show. And I believe he kept up somewhat with what's going on. But like I think he'd be perfect because he's like he'll ask some great questions and he has some great commentary and you know little sideline comments about stuff that's going on. So I think he'd be perfect.
I think one of my favorite Theo moments was after Airline was eliminated. He yelled at the top of his lungs, "Go home, go home, help her!" And then he was yelling at Alton, who's in our top 10, "Help her pack, help her pack."
That was. Oh my god!
And then the whole neck brace that he wore on the fresh meat reunion.
That was great. That was probably my favorite moment. That whole reunion was great, though. But let's get to number 9 real quick. Gotta get through these. Number 9 is Alton. I don't know how you say it.
Had he not done Battle of the Seasons, I think he would have been higher.
Yeah.
The Battle of the Seasons. Battle of the Seasons would have. Battle of the Seasons was his only blemish.
His only thing, and that's something that's like unfortunate because I feel like I heard that he was contacted for Balietzis, which I think that he would have had a better time on that challenge with Rachel and Abram and Mark and Anissa. You know, it's people who and CT and you know and DM people who he would have related to more, and it just sucks that he had to come back on this challenge where they like, you know, threw a bunch of crap and trying to see what sticked, and it sucked. So
let's do a challenge without bananas, without.
Well, doing a challenge without bananas isn't wrong. That was the one of the good parts. It was like yeah, that was fine. It was who they replaced him with was crap. Like they weren't good. Like that freshman team, that could have been like a really good like road rules team.
Yeah.
You know, like so whatever though. But yeah, Alton.
Where did you give us ranking?
Stefan got him at number 4. You have him at number 9. I have him at number 15.
That's where he fell, number 9.
What did you say?
That's where he fell, number 9.
Number 9, yeah.
I think I think had he not been on Battle Seasons, he would have been where Stefan put him, number 4.
Yeah, I would have put him higher too. I would put him higher than a couple of these, but that was like his only thing that happened. But
I think all my favorite Alton moments had to have been in elimination rounds because I mean he was so freaking good. I mean I don't know if you heard about his elimination with Adam King. He climbed it so fast that production told him to do it again.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was a good one. Inferno 3, it was good. Like I like loved everything about that guy. Except Battle of Seasons, that sucked. All right, let's get to number 8. One of my favorite, my top. If he's not my number 1 guy, he's my number 2. It's Wes. Weston is his name, and I think that he's one of those people that you just have to, no matter even if he wins or loses, like he's still like gonna probably be the best part of the show.
He's still memorable in every season, which
Every season, even going out like to the second episode, he's still one of the most memorable moments of the show. So, I think it's a good.
With the exception, I think had he not done Exodus or Battle Seasons, I would put him higher like I did Alton.
No, I think I mean, Exodus, like, he can't really help who your team is. He had a bad team, and then he went up against Eric and something that where like Eric could basically like beat anybody except maybe Zach. So, I mean, he still provided something though in those two in those like little episodes. Same with about the Exodus, you know, he still provided something for the show, and I thought it was great.
You remember the fight he and Johanna had on freshman when Johanna threw the Gatorade bottle at him?
Yeah, that was great. That was freshman is one of my favorite challenges. So everything about that challenge was amazing.
Rivals 2 when he and CT fought with Bananas at the last elimination thing. They're like, you suck.
Yeah, that was So Wes is he's definitely a top 10 guy. You can argue higher. I think people could argue lower because he does have those challenges like the ruined or like fresh. Not fresh. Yeah.
I don't know about you, Whit, but I was rooting for Wes. I was rooting for Wes to finally lose on the ruins as far as elimination rounds goes. I was so happy when Kahada beat him.
No, I was rooting for him to win.
I was so thrilled when Kahada beat him because the dude was so. I don't know. I hated him on the ruins. He was a.
Yeah, I mean that's you're either gonna love or hate him. Just like you're either gonna love or hate Bananas and Johnny and Evan.
Number 6, I'm guessing, will be The Miz.
Number 7, we're on number 7, and it's Mark Long.
Mark Long.
Mark Long.
The man, the myth, the legend, Mark Long.
And I'm so okay with this ranking. Just because yeah, I guess I'm okay with it just because
what, one challenge?
The people above him I think are just way more amped up about the show. Like they were just so much more like fun to watch and so much more I'm not saying Mark isn't, but they were just like there's just a different attitude about them. I'll say with the exception of maybe one.
Yeah.
But then that one has like a better winning record. So you can't really,
I think he's won.
I think this is a good part. This is a good spot for him.
I think he's won 2 challenges. One, it was before Battle Season, and then he won Battle 6 as one.
Yeah. He's won 2 challenges, and he came back on Exodus, which was a great surprise. He didn't stand a chance on Exodus because of his partner, but it was still good to see him, and I think that I hope we see him again. I don't think we will. I hope we see him.
We will. I know he wants to.
So let's move on. Let's move on from number. Let's go to number 6. We have Bananas, Johnny Bananas, who's won 5 challenges now out of like 12. I don't know how many challenges he's done. Out of like 10, I think. Which is not bad. I mean, I think people can argue.
You said Bananas is number 6?
Number 6, yeah.
What? I ranked him number 1.
Yeah. I ranked him at Stefan got him at 10. You got him at 1. I got him at 12.
12?
Yeah. He could have been higher, honestly. He could have.
Who further back in the list did you put ahead of Bananas?
Who what?
Who further back in the list did you put Bananas? Like who's behind Bananas on the list that you put ahead of him?
Timmy,
Mark,
Theo V, Dan S, Kenny, and Wes. I put all of them ahead of, and Mark. Okay. Yeah, I put all of them ahead of him. which I think that you like if you're looking at overall and looking at just like the type of the type of challengers and personalities that I listed and what they brought to the show, you could argue that their ranking is higher than Bananas. I think that him just being on the show so much and back to back would lead you to believe that, you know, he's really up here. But if someone like a Timmy hasn't been on the show in ages, then you forget how great he was.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to get back to my favorite Mark moment because I don't think I said it. Gauntlet 2, when he got so pissed off on the bus.
Yeah.
He's like, I need to get out. Okay.
That was good.
Bananas. I think we can do a whole podcast of favorite Bananas moments.
Not me, honestly.
And my buddy, I don't know if you remember, do you know who Shady is?
Yeah.
Dude can't stand Bananas. He wants Bananas to just go to a retirement home or something.
Yeah, I can't stand it. I mean, I don't mind him. I like him, but it's like, it's not like, it's just like, you don't need him. I don't think we need him every season. I really don't think so.
We don't, but especially with X's too, when they are like, okay, we're gonna partner you with Nani. We heard we had it on good. Oh, what did TJ say? We have it on good authority that you had a secret hookup with Bananas.
That's like ridiculous. That's worse than his pairing with Camilla, where there was nothing there. Like they didn't even have a relationship.
There was more there than with him and Nani.
There was more there, but it was still nothing, which shows how pathetic that Nani situation was. Yeah. And then you have that little thing with Frank. It's like they reach. You know, they reach just to get him on the show, and I don't think they need him that bad to be reaching that far. If they want to reach, there's other people who are better to put on the show, and I think will bring something different.
I agree.
He brings nothing different. He's the same.
But the reason why
the same drama, the same comments.
To defend him from why I put him on number 1, I mean, he's won 5 challenges. I mean, nobody else has won 5 challenges. I mean, there's only 2 people I've won 4. So gotta give it to him. And I think, I mean, I hope he doesn't win this next challenge, but I think he has a good chance to win this upcoming one too with his cousin Vince. His cousin Vince looks like he's gonna be really good. Yeah,
well, so does Dunbar. So whatever.
He looks. You saying Vince is a Dunbar?
He could be. You know, you never know. You never know.
I don't think you never know.
But okay,
number 5. I want to get
number 5. Derek Kaczynski.
Oh, so that means the top 4 are gonna be Alton.
We already said Alton.
Yeah. Oh no, Darrell, Landon, The Miz. Who's number 4? Who's the 4th one?
Well, we got to talk about number 5 first.
Derek is number 5.
Yeah. Wow. I think it's good comparing. Like, if you look at who's up above him, I think it's perfect. Where else is he gonna go?
Number, I think I put him at 3.
You did not put him at 3. You put him at 5. You put him at 5. So what are you talking about? You put Kenny above him.
I think those 2 are interchangeable because they've won all 3 challenges. They won together.
Yeah, he's definitely. I mean, like this top 10, I could see putting people anywhere. Honestly, I mean, well, except for the top number 1, but that's just my personal preference. But apparently, it's all of ours because it's the average of all of our scores. But anyway, I think Derek is definitely one of those people who are he's kind of like an Abram. You know, he's not someone who's cut and ripped up, but he has so much fire and passion in everything that he does on the show that it just makes you love him even more and root for him, and you want to see him do well.
Definitely. Just like with Kenny, I feel like he could have won so many more challenges. That's why he's so high up on this list. I mean, Fresh Meat, he could have won easily with DM. Violet 2. Inferno 2, do you think badasses if they would have gotten rid of like a couple of more girls? think the badasses would have pulled that one
It
out?
would. They could have. They could have. It could have been a much closer, a tighter race, but the good guys had top guys as well, so top competitors as well.
Oh my God! Now that I think that the Inferno 2 had amazing, like top tier guys. I mean, the good guys: Brad, The Miz, Darrell Landon, and Derek are Landon and The Miz are all top 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, wow.
So
and
yeah,
then CT on the badass is in the top 4 as well. What's your favorite Derek moment?
Probably some. I would say someone on Battle of the Sexes too, and he was like made that little friend with the frog, and that was like probably my favorite moment. I was honestly like, oh,
and then he wins Dangle Drop, which was amazing.
And he gets ran over by the golf cart, like randomly. That was a great Derek challenge. Like he didn't win, he didn't make it far, but
every challenge was a great Derek challenge.
It really was. It really was. He was the highlight of every challenge he was on. So
duel 1, had he not lost to Wes, he could have easily won the duel.
I don't know if he would have beat Brad though. I don't know if he would have beaten Brad.
I don't know. That's tough. He did beat Brad,
but I don't know if it would have definitely have won.
Yeah. And then Inferno 3, thanks to CT, who I'm guessing might be number 4, is thanks to CT, Derek won his first challenge on Inferno 3, a challenge he wasn't even supposed to be on.
Yep. Yeah, so he's a great competitor. I'm not mad at him that he's not on anymore. It's time.
I miss this podcast though. I really do.
Yeah, he had a good podcast. All right, let's get to number 4.
Number
4.
I'm sorry I'm gonna make you late to Walking Dead, by the way.
Nah, it's all right. It's all right. Number 4, we have CT. C-Tizzle. And for anyone who thinks that he needs to be number 1, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about.
No.
He is not number 1.
Had he won a couple more challenges, I would have said yeah. But he's only won 1 out of 12 challenges?
Yeah. And it's not even about the winning. It's like the reason he's ranked so high and he's won so little, it's like because he brings something else other than that. He brings more than he brings so much more to the show than just winning. And he does have that one win that he has to fall back on. But it's like he has like a lot of great moments in elimination rounds, a lot of great moments in rivalries and this and that, and it's like he's just a great competitor. I think that he's just a fired up competitor who loves to compete, and he always brings us that edge and that fight. And I love this. I love watching him. I love watching him play the game. I love watching him on this challenge. He doesn't have much of a strategy, but he doesn't need it. He just kind of goes and busts his heads. And it's great.
There's so many great CT moments, but one that sticks out to me, other than him punching Davis and him fighting Adam, would probably be in Rivals 1 when him and Adam jump on that little bar and go all the way across. That was so bad. I actually not recently, but like in the last year, I put that as an Instagram video. It was so cool.
Yeah, that my favorite moment.
I recorded it off my phone.
My favorite moment is probably when Brad beat CT in the duel. And then CT went off on like TJ, on Brad, on Wes. That was my favorite moment.
Tell your girlfriend to put the link that you're gonna put the ring on layaway.
That was great. Ow.
And then Wes low blows him back. And then Wes fires back with the low blow. Why don't I fake date someone to get to the end of this shit? I want to see if you guys can see this real quick. Watch this from Rivals 1. I posted this 65 weeks ago. Oh, I won't come up. Damn it. But that moment was pretty good. Other things that happened when Leah on the first Inferno was so angry at him, and CT was just jawing at Leah, and she was like, CT was like, "You need to step up," and Leah was like, "You need to shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
Every challenge, just like Derek, every challenge that CT has been on, even if he was there for like half the first episode, getting kicked off for fighting, we all remember that he was on that challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't say that for many of these challenges.
I mean, he has moments like on Inferno 3 with him and Kenny. But that challenge, honestly, I forgot he was on it. Honestly.
Yeah.
But that was a great moment though.
When he poured beer on Adam's head and got the 3.
Yeah.
That was pretty lame.
That was great.
Oh man. I just want to keep going. Let's do like 2 or 3 more moments from CT. I just think X is one when he drank the blood in the final.
That was in the finale.
So badass on the final.
Yeah.
I think it was either deer or goat's blood. And bananas like CT's favorite thing, smashing heads and eating it.
That was probably like the duel 2 moment, the fight with Adam was probably one of my favorite moments. That was great.
And then him stepping up to face Shane in the first Inferno, which was so random.
With in place of Adam
with his buddy David.
David, David, yeah.
That was one of the most one of my least favorite challenge contestants ever. Dave Burns.
He was so annoying.
I hate
him. Let's move to number 3 real quick. Because number 3 I think is another big one.
The Miz.
The Miz. The Miz is number 3. He's like he was the man back in that time. Like he was a guy everyone looked to for everything. He was it. You can't tell me nothing else about the Miz. Like he was just it. And I don't know. Like he was fun to watch, but at the same time he was so competitive and so driven by like just beating the best and wanting to compete. Like that little rivalry him and Abram had going on was great. So I think like the Miz has earned his top 3 spot. I mean, he's won 2 challenges. Gosh, he won like I don't know how many lifesavers. What's that?
That's it. That's his catchphrase on WWE. I'm the Miz, and I'm awesome.
Yeah,
and that's what he was back when he was on the challenges back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, he was what he said he was. He was awesome.
He was amazing. He really was. Him and Coral is probably my favorite team ever on the show. That's ever been on the show. Him and Coral. Just watching them compete, watching their interactions was great TV. So, yeah.
Him getting pissed off in Inferno 2 when Landing went in for him. You think I'm gonna get beat by Karamo?
That was funny. They were like fighting over who wants to go in there. Like, oh man, those days were great. So yeah, Miz at number 3. Now top
WWE should run an injury angle just so the Miz could do another challenge.
1 and 2, who is it? Like how do you see that playing out? 1 and 2.
Landon's 2, Darrell's the 1.
2. Darrell.
Landon's number 1? Really?
Darrell is number 2.
Darrell's 1. You're telling me Darrell's won 4 challenges. Landon's won 3. He could have won 4 on the duel 2. But Darrell's 2.
Darrell's won 4 out of 6. Landon's won 3 out of 4. Who has a higher percentage in that? In your math?
Landon's 75%. Darrell's 160%.
So, snap. Oh, hey. So, what?
That kind of surprised me. I mean, I originally on my list, I picked Bananas to be number one just for the fact that he's won 5 challenges, and Darrell, I had Darrell at 2. Where did Stefan have Darrell?
He had him number 1.
Where did you have Darrell?
I had him at number 9. He
number 9?
Probably should have been higher on my list. No lie, he probably should have been higher on my list, but I don't know why I ranked him at number 9.
He's won 4 or 6 challenges. The one challenge that he would have won. He would have won 5 on the ruins had he not punched Brad in the face.
Yeah, I think that would have been a win.
And had he picked Laurel instead of I love Cara Maria, but had he picked Laurel
instead of wasn't a bad pick. That wasn't a bad pick. If you looked at the stats, remember they had the stat sheet. If you look at the stats, it was said that Cara was the best girl. So I don't know if.
But Cara was very unstable on that challenge, unfortunately.
Huh?
Cara was extremely unstable on that challenge, unfortunately.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
So, but so I don't fault him for picking her. I think that he just didn't know it. Like you can't read how someone's gonna react. Like that's not on a stat sheet. Like how someone's gonna react in this situation. So that sucked for him. But you have to go like he did lose, like the first elimination. On
do you remember how he pronounced Inferno?
Inferno or something like that. Inferno. It was so weird.
I think Timmy made fun of him for that.
I don't remember that.
I was more afraid of the Inferno.
That was so funny.
Oh, Darrell moments though. I don't know. He's just a badass.
Yeah. No, he was.
I mean, the fight he had with Kellyanne on the road.
I hated that.
Why'd you call her a bitch, dude? Because she looked like you. Because she looked like you.
I hated that. That was not a good Darrell moment. That was probably one of my least favorite moments.
And then after
Kellyanne like that.
We already talked about the Abram thing after Inferno 2 when Abram was like, "Oh, I'll take all you on," and he was like, "Who's next?" And Darrell was like, "I'll take you, mine, bitch."
Yeah, that was a good one.
You probably weren't that familiar with how familiar you were of the challenges when Darrell was on Road Rules.
I'm very familiar. I have that season on DVD, and it's probably my favorite season of Road Rules.
You're probably like, oh, Darrell, you're gonna be on so many of these you're gonna be on challenges no matter what.
I mean, I wasn't thinking that because I've watched them. Like I didn't. My first season of Road Rules was Extreme, so I started really late. But I watched them back. Like I had to buy the DVDs and watch them back. So but yeah, he was just as he is on challenge. Like he was a beast competitor. And I like he was more like he was kind of he was always obviously a younger Darrell, but I thought he was interesting on there. I don't really find him interesting on the challenge actually, but he provides the competition, so not mad at that.
Dude is the man. I think if you do another challenge, which he probably won't, he's been on record to say that he would do it if it was a duel. Yeah. I think he would still be a contender. I don't think. I mean,
yeah. Why wouldn't he be?
I don't think people would throw him in right away because he's Darrell, like Bananas, because he's not as annoying as Bananas is.
I think he's unknown. And I don't think people nowadays, like especially like the Are You the One people, and these more recent real worlders, I don't think they're gonna know who Darrell is. And I think it would be awesome if he showed up and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna take this old guy out," and Darrell lays them out every single time. I think that is what would happen. Like Bananas, you know what you're getting. You're getting a little punk guy who runs his mouth, and he's really good at competitions, but you know that you can handle that. Darrell is a quiet dude. He keeps to himself. he's one of the best competitors, but you see his muscles, but you're used to that because everyone has muscles on this show. So you're not gonna judge based on that. You're just gonna see him win everything. You're gonna be like, oh crap, like this guy is good. And I think I would love that reaction. I would love that to happen. He's never been one of my favorites, but I think that if he came back to the show, he would crush it. Yeah. He would really crush it.
And what's harder to do now, back when he was on the challenges, he stayed out of elimination rounds. I mean, his very first elimination round was fresh meat.
Yep. He was good about that, and especially like on something like the Gauntlet, where you have people like Timmy and Abram like volunteering, to go into these eliminations. Darrell would be like,
"You mean Inferno?" He wasn't on the Gauntlet. You mean Inferno?
Inferno, yeah. So yeah, I think that he's really deserving of his number 2 spot. I mean, look, if you look at it, like Banana's number 6, he's won 5 out of like 10, right? That's 50%.
Still, he's won the most.
Then you have like Darrell, who's won 60%, and then you have number 1, Landon, who has the best record, who still holds the best record on the show, who has won 75% of his challenges.
Yeah, he dominated Duel 2. Do you think he would have beat Evan and Mark, or Evan and?
He would have crushed Evan and Mark.
Yeah,
he would have crushed them in that Duel 2. And I think so.
He was so dominant that the 3 guys at the Final 4 knew, oh, we got to take him out. We got to put him in this last elimination round.
And it wasn't lucky that Brad beat him, but it was so like he had this wise decision to like knock his Sting out of the way, because Landon had him. Landon had Brad down. He had him every single time they got in contact with each other. He had a hold of him, but Brad was like, he's knocking his Sting out of the way. So Landon had to try to get it, to find it so he can hook it onto it. And by the time he did that, Brad was already down at his. So
obviously, I'm not mad at Landon being number 1. I mean, the dude was amazing. He's definitely one of the best ones of all time. He basically won Freshman 2 by himself.
Pretty much.
I mean, he beat teams like Kenny and Laurel. He beat, who's the 3rd place team? Pete and Joe. Pete and Joe were a good team.
They were a really good team.
Jen and Nora were a very good team. I mean, he beat those 3 teams by himself.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Carly. Did you guys talk with Carly before?
I think we did.
I think you guys did too. I never did.
I think we did. But yeah, so I like that he's kind of only did 4 challenges. I think that's all he really needed to do. He made his point. He made his mark. And I think that was the best. Like, that was the best ending for him. Fresh Meat 2 is probably the most like victorious win ever on the show. I've never been happier for a team than I was for Landon winning Fresh Meat 2.
Yeah, me too.
He was just like a good guy, like just winning. And then have Carly, who obviously was like probably the worst girl there. Can't remember back to like.
She was the last pick.
She was the last pick, so he didn't even get a choice. Like, he had the biggest disadvantage of everybody, and still made it. You can't argue that.
I remember that exile when Carly basically was knocked out, basically almost hyperventilated, and Landon still got her to move, and still got that 5-minute advantage to beat. Oh man, I haven't watched that elimination round in so long.
I gotta go back and watch that. I like that challenge just for how it ended. It was such a fun challenge, but also just like how it ended. It was so great.
Yeah. That does it. Landon number 1.
Yep, I think that's good. I think
You rank,
this list will probably get a better, like
did
slightly
you rank,
better
did you rank him?
reaction. Huh?
I think I ranked him 2. I ranked him 3
I ranked
actually.
him number 1. You ranked him 3. Stefan 5.
Hey, at least there's nobody like not Brandon. Brandon's at least there's nobody like a Swift on there. Nobody like a who's made a final that made it by blood.
Everyone on here. I feel like everyone on our list actually either made a final or won. Well, sub Ace. Well, but he made a final though. He did make a final.
So who I know
CJ
we had
did not make the final.
yeah
CJ
I know we had honorable mentions for the girls. Do we who barely missed the cut?
We don't have honorable mention. I don't have an honorable mentions list, but I can tell you that
We already talked about Ty.
let me see. Everyone. I mean, everyone. We have pretty much everyone. We have like all of the same people, pretty much, except like Stefan has like Adam King. I think an honorable mention would be like Frank R from the Vegas one. I put him on a list and I took him off for somebody. I forgot who I took him off for, but I think he could have very well been on this
He was
list.
one of a very few that was smitten by love and still was able to win a challenge.
Yeah, like
And he was pretty good on Texas too.
on what?
He was pretty good on Battle of Texas too as well.
Yeah, he was. He was good. You know, like this whole little thing with Angela.
He was way better.
He's just like a sweet guy.
He was way better. Steven made it further than he did.
So,
oh my God. Steven slapping Shane in the back of the head. Nobody was talking.
oh, that was great. Like you have MJ on yours. I didn't rank him at all.
I was surprised MJ didn't make it because MJ's won a challenge.
He could have.
MJ made it pretty far in Duel 2.
After being a replacement, yeah. He won a couple eliminations and
he was only called to do one challenge because he was a replacement twice on Gauntlet 3 and the Duel 2.
Yeah, on Gauntlet 3 it didn't work out so well. He didn't impress as much.
The rookie sucked on Gauntlet 3.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I mean, like I said, I have Knight on here. Stephen has Brandon Nelson. Dustin, I think he made further on free agents could have been on this list as well.
Okay, I want to see who I put. That's on the list. I put MJ on it. I put IDC. He wasn't. He didn't make the list. I think that's it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a pretty solid list. Like, I think it's pretty clear. Like, that's why I said the guys were easy. It was the girls that was difficult because everything was so spread out. But I think we got it. So yeah, I mean, I think it's time to wrap it up and
So Bloodlines. 30 seconds. You excited?
Wednesday
night.
I am kind of excited. I am excited for this one. I'm excited for this one. I'm not excited for the next one. I'm excited for this one. I think Bloodline's gonna be great.
Excited for the next one. People are gonna be like, "Are you?" It's like the challenge. Are you the one?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Especially the ones, and I'm not gonna say who they casted, but especially some of the ones they cast for.
It was horrible. It's a horrible cast. A horrible cast.
Why are you bringing this guy back? I mean, this guy was a oh man.
So, but I think
Survivors is going very well. Probably, I think it's going to be, when it's all said and done, it's going to be the best season of all time. Better than Heroes. Survivor Second Chance. I think it's going to be the best Survivor season of all time when it's all said and done.
Yeah, for sure.
Better than Heroes versus Villains, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Heroes versus Villains.
Well, I didn't watch that one. So
I watched it right before the season, right before second started.
All right. Well,
So
Yeah,
Follow us.
so we'll meet up. Well, I'm gonna get with Stefan, and we're gonna talk about the challenge book, and we have to preview that, and or we may preview it and see how busy he is, and then
yeah, you guys can check mine out. Just YouTube search my name. Pretty much.
For sure. Okay, so thanks Andrew for joining me on the top male challengers ever. And I think this list went a little better than the female one. So thanks for joining me. Missing Stefan. I'm sure he would have loved to have been here defending some of his picks. But yeah, so thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll talk to you guys.
I still can't remember. All right.